Hey y'all, this is Amanda. She's a Mad Gardener, and it's been a long few weeks. I definitely feel behind on stuff in my garden. It's really hot. It's a tough time of year. And on top of that, we have been dealing with death, unfortunately. Not in our family, but a close friend lost her husband, and there's a little girl without a dad now, which is incredibly sad. So been doing a lot with that this week, and COVID has entered our circle of friends, our close circle of friends who we spend our time with, and so that's hard as well. And everything going on in the world, it's a lot right now. So I feel sad. I feel sad right now. Anyway, when I feel sad, working in my garden makes me feel real good. And I literally haven't had a moment these last few weeks, and the heat is so sucking. So today I'm forcing myself to get out there, and I know that by the end of this, I will feel better, surrounding myself with wonderful, full green growing things. And I hope that y'all's gardens give you that sense of peace too. It's one of the main reasons I garden. I don't talk about it a lot, but the gardening is an escape for me, and talking to you guys is an escape for me. And I might not know you face to face, but we do share a love of gardening and a love of green growing things, and those moments of peace being out in the garden. So today is going to be a hodgepodge because that's where my brain's at. So let me show you, I'm going to do a small project, and then I'm going to show you a few before and afters, or now and then. So where projects started and what it looks like now. As always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and make sure you guys drop me a comment below. Tell me how you're doing. I'd like to hear how you're doing. If things are hard, I'd like to send you all the wonderful vibes your way, and let me know how you're doing. All right, let's get started. Okay, this is an area I'm going to be working on today. I moved these Alberta spruces here earlier this year, and I surrounded them. This is Candy Tuft. It's no longer blooming, but it's putting on a lot of green right now. And then these are cherry pop dianthus that actually need a trim back. So I'm going to show you guys. You can see the spent blooms right here. If you trim all of these back, the spent blooms, they'll give you a whole nother round. So I've got the 3 cherry pop dianthus and the 2 candy tufts on either side. And then I'm going to be coming back with these white coneflowers, and I got them for $9 each at Homegrown in Farmersville. So I'm going to be planting these and tucking them back around this Alberta spruce. Now, this Alberta spruce is a slow grower, you guys. So I'm not worried about it overtaking these coneflowers anytime soon. If in fact it does get to the time where it takes over all of that, I will just move the coneflowers as well. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of weeding. I think this is called spurge. I flippin' hate it. It looks like it's a whole bunch, but it's really like little tendrils that are all hooked to one little root right there. And it's real easy to pull up. It's just super annoying, y'all. So like all the little pieces are like hooked to one little root. So when you pull out one, it brings a whole lot more. So I'm going to be trimming this back, or pulling this up as well, and planting up this area. When I put the coneflowers in, I'm going to be putting in Plant Tone by Espoma. This is the general fertilizer that I like to use on all of my plants. I do not expect much production. This guy has a lot of yellow. I think I overwatered him, so I'm going to trim those out. I don't expect much production from these coneflowers for this year, just because I'm just now putting them in and it's the end of August. But I'm going to go ahead and get them in. Maybe I'll get a little bit of action from them, but I do expect for them to have a good year next year, because these are perennials, so they will be coming back for me. Okay, so here is a planter that I did earlier in the season, and it has done beautifully. I had some creeping Jenny in there with some red verbena, some white portulaca, some red sun patience. Did have some grass tucked in here that has not done as well. Some has done well and some hasn't. I would think that that is based on the amount of sun that it has gotten. But this, you guys just saw the before, and this is what it looks like now. So it's done really, really good this season. I'm really proud of how this container is held up and turned out. Now these guys are some half wine barrels that I planted up with a variety of sun-loving annuals, including zinnias, vincas and pentas. The pentas ended up getting eat up. See those stalks sticking straight up with nothing on them? Apparently some bug really, or some insect really love the pentas this season, and so they have eaten up my pentas twice. They ate them up, then they all started coming back, and then they ate them up again. So I'm glad that I have a mix in there. That's something good for me to know regarding pentas in this area, that they can get eaten up. So I'm glad I had them mixed with some other things. So I have that one right there. And then I have this one back here. You can't even see the container anymore. It's so obscured, but it's done beautifully back there. Okay, so check out these planters now. You can see that Diamond Frost Euphorbia has gone bonkers. It is absolutely stunning. I will be planting it again. Y'all, that was one plant, a quart. One plant, a quart size, and it is done beautifully. The caladiums have held on this side, but then on this side, they haven't done as well. And then the petunias have held on this side, but then on this side, they died off. So even though these planters are literally 8 feet from one another, they got very different sun and very different outlooks. But I am very happy with how they've done and how well they've held up. Definitely will be planting this Diamond Frost Euphorbia again, because it is just a showstopper. So you might remember the video where I was pruning back in my garden, and I was pruning on this red spirea and I cut my finger. That was fun times. And so now it's been a few weeks, and the red spirea is giving me a whole nother round of blooms. And that usually happens if I do a trim back on this particular type of spirea. Now, if I do the same thing on my bridal wreath spirea, it does not give me another round of blooms. But this red spirea always does, which is wonderful. So it's looking really good right now. Okay, so my after on my limelight hydrangeas is pretty dramatic and pretty sad looking, but this is the usual process for my hydrangeas. Some of my favorite gardeners, YouTube gardeners, their limelight hydrangeas, they'll leave them on all season into the winter. Mine just don't hold up that well. So at some point during the season, I cut them all back, and then the hydrangea spends the rest of the time putting off new leaves and stuff. You can see it does very well, putting off all the new leaves. And they're very happy to have a break from trying to support those blooms. So yeah, I can't get it to focus. There we go. So yeah, it doesn't look great right now, but it'll be okay. So this is what happens to my hydrangea blooms. They start to kind of get this kind of brown kind of look where they kind of start rotting instead of maintaining these pretty things. So I went ahead and cut them all back, especially because we had a good amount of rain and it really started destroying some of the blooms. So they've all been cut back. They're all on the porch, not in water, just in here, just drying out. And then I'm gonna use them to make some fall decor later on in the season. These mums are all coming back strong. Y'all remember when I cut these back hard? They're all coming back beautifully strong, and they will give me another round of blooms for the fall season, which will be wonderful. Some more over there. Little update on these zinnias that I planted a few weeks ago. They are almost taken over the area already. Absolutely beautiful color. They're gonna get giant before we get our first frost, and they're gonna look lovely for all my fall color. Okay, so obviously I did some pruning over here. Some sweet potato vines that are going crazy. Did want to give you an update on the squara that I trimmed back. Had a couple of people freak out saying I'd killed it. It's coming back beautifully. Looks great. Typically, if I give it a hard prune, it will send up a whole nother round of blooms. So it is looking really nice right now. And then here's an update on all the seedlings I planted the other day. Sunflowers, celosia, and zinnia. Everything's looking really good. I've lost a few to some critters, but for the most part, they've all held on pretty well. So this is going to be a beautiful crop, probably in about 4 weeks, which I'm really looking forward to, and cutting back some of these sunflowers and really enjoying them. Even some of my celosia is already putting off some blooms in some places. Yeah, itty bitty tiny bloom right there. It's looking good. Yeah, all the zinnias are looking really pretty too. Okay, so here's some updates on my trellis. As you guys know, I did plant several different gourds, ornamental gourds and pumpkins. They all ended up getting taken by squash bugs, which is super sad. But my lemon cucumbers are doing beautifully. They've come all the way around on this particular one to cover the entire trellis. You can see some of the fruit. That guy's a little overripe. I should have picked him already, but you can see smaller ones in there, which is super fun. So these are really looking beautiful. Very happy with where they're at right now. And then this is what my vertical planter currently looks like. It's done pretty good this season. I did have some issues where all of the profusion zinnias died out in this. So I had to pull them out, replace them with some vincas, which have been very happy, as you can see. They're looking really good. All of the Silver Falls dichondra is really pretty. This is looking really nice too. Not as grand as my one from last year, but I'm still learning on this vertical planter what works here and what doesn't. I kind of considered filling it with strawberries, but I'm not real sure. We'll see what I'll do for next year on it, but I definitely am working on some different ideas. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of those updates and that quick little project putting in those coneflowers. They are powwow white coneflowers, and so I'll enjoy watching those grow, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me have my moment. I definitely feel a little bit better after walking around the garden. It always kind of does that for me, and you know, I love YouTube gardeners. I love watching them. They bring me a lot of peace and joy, but I really appreciate the YouTube gardeners that are real on their videos, where it's not all happy-go-lucky the whole time. I guess I just want to know that they're real people, that those are real people on the backside of the video, and I don't know if it's just, you know, all the social media that every once in a while you got to know that, is that person real? Is this for real? Is this their real life? And I don't want to compare my life to their life and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot. So anyway, I hope you don't mind my having a real moment with you guys today. Everything is not happy-go-lucky right now. Everything's hard, real hard right now, but I am thankful that I have my family, my friends, and my garden to help me through all this time and bring me peace. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.